Troll!
If you're like me, the things that come to mind when you think of Seattle are grunge rock, the Space Needle, rain, and of course coffee. That was before I went to Seattle for work for the first time a couple of years ago. I found out that Seattle is all of these things and much, much more. I work in the legal field, but I'm not a lawyer. However, my job does take me into the courtroom. So I often stay near the courthouse that I'm going to be working in. In Seattle, that puts me in the Pioneer Square area. That's the part of town where the settlement that became Seattle was located. Before that, Native Americans had a settlement in that same area, but it was mostly abandoned by the time the original Seattle settlers arrived. You will still find plenty of Native American influence all around you, as well as the unusual. It's right by Elliott Bay, so you'll find some beautiful views as well as many things that you would never expect. There's lots of nightlife in the area with many bars and pubs. Seeing as how I was there for work, I didn't get the chance to go to as many as I would have liked, but there was a really good Irish pub right down from my hotel. There were several nights after work that I'd stop in for a bite to eat and enjoy a good Irish ale. The food was great. And as you could see, they always kept you on the toes and you never knew what to expect with all the art that they would put into the foam of the ale when they brought it to you. While you're checking out the beer picks, you can really do me a favor by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it helps us grow. Now back to the beer. Seeing as how it was close to Halloween when I was there, they even added a couple of spooky designs as well. Another part of town is called the International District. It was a short walk from my hotel. There you'll find Chinatown, Japantown, and Koreatown. I would often find myself enjoying the scenery and the food. I even got to eat at Tai Tung restaurant. It was Bruce Lee's favorite place to eat when he lived in Seattle. The food was excellent. Before I went to Seattle for the first time, I didn't even know that he had lived there. As a matter of fact, Bruce Lee is buried in Seattle. You can even visit his grave if you want. One of the more well-known places to visit in Seattle is Pike's Place Market. It's a bit of a further walk, but I didn't mind. Seattle does have bus and light rail service, but I only used it when I was traveling to places that were a little bit further out. And if you keep watching the video, you'll see some of those places coming up. When I visit someplace new, I enjoy walking the area. It gives me a better feel for what it's like, and I have a better chance of not missing anything if I'm on foot. The market is where the original Starbucks location is, as well as other little shops, restaurants, and food vendor stalls. Be sure to check out everything that's around the market as well. There you'll find the Eclipse Hat Shop. It's a must visit every time I'm in town. The black fedora that I was wearing in the selfies earlier came from there. And then there's the purple store. It's their one-stop shop for everything you could possibly think of in purple. They have jewelry, they have clothing, and then they have things that won't fit in your luggage. Copacabana is one of my favorite places to eat in the market. It's a little South American place with great food. You will find it on the second floor, and it has a balcony that overlooks the market. I love sitting outside and watching the world go by below me. You can also see the bay from there. The only problem is that they close early evening, so a lot of the times when I was done for the day, they were already closed. When you're walking through the market, you'll find Seattle Cutlery right next to Starbucks. You should really check them out. My wife and I have seen enough studies and articles that indicate that there are microplastics in food and in our bodies. We've been trying to replace plastic cutting boards and cooking utensils with wood. We know that this isn't a solution to fix everything, but we do what we can. This store has a great selection of wooden cooking tools, and with a name like Seattle Cutlery, they do have knives as well. As you can see, I picked up quite a few things and used them every day here at home and have had zero issues. McLeod's Fish and Chips is one of my favorite places to eat in Seattle. It's one of only 2 places that I know of in the US where you can walk in and get Scottish food. I know that fish and chips isn't exclusively Scottish, but they have really good Scotch eggs and amazing haggis fritters. While you're there, you should treat yourself to a flight of Scotch whiskey. You'll be glad that you did. McLeod's isn't in the market. It's one of those further out places that I mentioned earlier. I had to take a bus to get there, and it was well worth the trip. Now, this next place is within easy walking distance of McLeod's. It's the National Nordic Museum. I didn't know that there was a National Nordic Museum, let alone that it was going to be found in Seattle. And this is where I found the troll. He stands right outside the museum like an imposing guard, ever on watch. Inside the museum, you'll find a variety of Scandinavian art as well as historic artifacts. Apparently, there has been quite a bit of immigration from the Scandinavian countries into the Pacific Northwest over the years. This is an example of one of the reasons that I love random finds like this. You end up learning things that you never knew, and at least to me, that's one of the things that travel is supposed to be about. There were also replicas of Viking boats on display. When I think of Vikings, I always think of their boats and ships. After all, it was these boats and ships that made the Viking Age possible. As I made my way deeper into the museum, I found myself in a series of dimly lit rooms that contained their own strangely whimsical world. This world contained vibrantly colored flowers sitting atop rocks and boulders, as well as other wonders. There were also flowering vines that climbed the wall, as well as what appeared to be a being made of wood. Soon, I found other inhabitants in this fantasy world. My visit to the museum was like my trip to Seattle as a whole. I found new wonders that were unlike anything that I had experienced up to that point. If I missed something that you love about Seattle and you think I need to experience the next time I'm in town, just drop it in the comments and I'll be sure to check it out. I came away with an appreciation and love of the area, and now I look forward to any opportunity that I can find to go back. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new, then like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next trip.